Now, I've spoken before about my love of the Toy Biz action figures when it comes to the Marvel Universe. They started in the very early 90s with the X-Men, and the line grew and grew and grew. And of course, owning the license to all the Marvel characters, they soon grew out the entire roster, so we were looking at Spider-Man and the Avengers and so on. And one of the things I really loved about this time was not just the plethora of characters you could pick up, but also the myriad playsets and vehicles that they also produced, which was just absolutely fantastic to a child who could immerse themselves in the world of Marvel Comics. And today I really want to take a look at one of my absolute favourites, something that's very close to my heart, which was the X-Men Blackbird Jet. But before we start on this, something caught my attention, and that is the logo at the bottom. It's not Toy Biz, it's Tyco. So I'm not sure what the relationship was between the two companies, or indeed if one of them was absorbed into the other at some point, but it's interesting that on the back of the packaging there is photographs of what I know to be Toy Biz branded toys to go along with this playset, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. But suffice it to say, this Blackbird Jet is in perfect scale and is meant to be played with those self-same X-Men figures with the Toy Biz logo. And the first thing I want to comment on is the packaging itself. As anyone who's watched my channel before will know, I'm a sucker when it comes to artwork on packaging. I just think it's very evocative, and I just love how dynamic these images are, and this is no exception. I love the way they've drawn Wolverine in the jet there, and the fury of the missiles coming out, and yeah, it just really brings the whole set to life, really. It just really stimulates the imagination, and yeah, it's, you know, to this day I still find it really exciting. At the very bottom of the packaging we can of course see how the Blackbird breaks apart into three sort of modules, and on the side panel we can see some of the action features that are contained within this set. On the reverse of the packaging we can of course see the fully assembled photograph of the toy itself, and we can see it broken apart into those three modules there, and it points out all the different key features of this playset. But of course on the right hand side we can of course see those other X-Men figures in the range that we can buy to put with our playset. And the funny thing about this is that, you know, from a marketing point of view this is win-win, because obviously it is a sales technique to encourage parents to buy more toys for their children, but children love it as well, because I remember being a child and I remember looking at them and I loved having like this checklist and pointing out different figures that I wanted next. So here she is, fully assembled and out of packaging. First impressions is that actually it's quite a simple design. It's very faithful to what we saw in the animated cartoon. I love the colouring of it. It is just one tone blue with some stickers to enhance it, so there's like little flame effects there and the sort of the jet engine, which is quite nice, and of course the X logo and the orange window displayed there as well. So it is quite simple. Like I said, there isn't much coloration to it apart from the single blue plastic piece, but it is a very attractive design, and the blue and the red complement each other well. Now the Blackbird does have wheels, so of course when it's on the ground it can roll forwards and to the side and move around just like any other vehicle. But this is quite fun for play, especially if you have a hard surface floor in your kitchen. That might be perfect for rolling it into action. And despite coming apart in three pieces, you can see that when it slots together it is a very solid single piece. And of course the opening of the screen lifts up to reveal the cockpit inside, and there you can place your action figure pilot. In this case I've decided to go just like the box art and put Wolverine in there. Now, as I said, the Blackbird does disassemble into three different parts, three different modules, so you can pull out the nose piece, which acts as its own separate mini vehicle that has an extra pair of wheels to roll around. We have the central modular piece as well, and we also have a final third piece at the very back there. So when all said and done, you basically have three areas of distinct play. The nose piece or cockpit is fairly straightforward. It is obviously just its own mini vehicle that can roll around. That is the action feature, and of course it does lift up so you can place your figure inside, as I showed before. The inside is decorated with stickers to give it the impression of a leather seat, and some buttons there and controls. Obviously over time they have started to peel, that happens with age obviously, but back in the day this was quite colourful and interesting. And yet it's funny that as an adult coming back to it, this seems a lot smaller, and I was surprised it didn't have more of an action feature. Now, the central module is sort of the main area of play in this set, so it actually continues to extend out a bit further and puts some distance between the nacelles, but also the top opens up and the side panel with the chair in actually unclicks and slides out as well. And of course the idea is that you take one of your other X-Men and you put him in that control chair there. So I'm going to use Gambit, and as you can see he fits in quite snugly into the command chair and it looks pretty good. His chair has the same deco as the one in the cockpit, but he actually has this control panel here and one to his right side as well. Again, there is just simple stickers to give this a bit more colour and interest, but I do like these stickers because there seems to be an awful lot of buttons, which as a child was really exciting. And one of my favourite features of this set is this part where you can essentially slide out this wall here so you get a lot more monitors and different things going on. And again, this is just simple sticker deco, so there's not a lot to this, there's no action features, no buttons, nothing like that, and yet the design of it is really nice. It's really bright, it's colourful, and even better, we have some artwork there of some of our favourite characters, Magneto, Colossus, Sabretooth. And I always loved how there was some stats there and a map on a radar trying to find different mutants, so I always thought that was really fun. Now of course, sadly, time has not been kind to this sticker. It is starting to curl and peel, and I did my best to look after it, so that is a shame, but what can you do? Now, the other main action feature here is the extension of the nacelles, which can lift up or down, and they can rotate 360 degrees, which is absolutely fantastic. And the whole point of this, of course, is that these are acting as a missile. Now, at the back, we have these two orange stickers, which is meant to be the jet engine sort of glare coming out of the exhaust, which is brilliant. But yeah, as I say, they look like nacelles, but they actually are firing missiles. So when you click this button, it fires the missile. The final component is the end piece of the Blackbird, which is essentially just a big seat. We can place our character in here, so in this case I've chosen Sabretooth, and if you want you can choose to wheel him around as if it was some sort of strange smart car, but the real point of this piece is the action feature. On the back of this piece we can actually pull out two extra exhausts. So when the Blackbird fully assembled and in flight, this looks more authentic, but at the very bottom you'll notice there is this grey switch. And when you flick that switch, it acts as an ejector seat, launching the character there into the air. And then when you're ready, we can fold the modules away, we can tighten everything up, and we can reassemble the Blackbird into one piece. And what's fun about this is that the raised nacelles firing those missiles can still be done when it is one piece there. So you're kind of getting something extra here. You're getting the individual playset with the individual pieces, but when it's all put together it feels like one solid piece vehicle with functionality in its own right. And it also doubles as a display piece as well. You can use this vehicle as a really great backdrop to put your figures around. And of course, having those firing missiles independent of the playset just works so well on so many levels, because these are really chunky, heavy missiles. So when they fire, they really pack a punch. So overall, I have to say, yeah, this lives up to my childhood expectations. I remember absolutely loving this when I was a kid. I loved the X-Men. I loved having their the Blackbird X-Jet. I just thought it was wonderful to have this in toy form. And I think the functionality is really fun. I love that it opens up and becomes a world within this playset. And I have to say, you know, it's bright, it's colourful, it's absolutely tons of fun. And yeah, I think it holds up after all these years. And that's despite the stickers peeling and everything else. So I just think it's, yeah, a brilliant toy and a lot of fun memories with this thing. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a like and remember to subscribe, as I'll be posting more videos soon.